During this dynamic new era, the Texas capital changed as well. The state government had already outgrown the building by 1879 and had made provisions to build a new structure on the same location at Congress Avenue between 11th and 12th Street in Austin. Lawmakers had already set aside 3 million acres of public land in the Texas Panhandle to pay for the new structure. Planners, energized by the prospects of a brand new capital, met at the existing capitol to go over the blueprints. On November 9, 1881, shortly after a meeting of the Architectural Committee, fire destroyed the capital of Texas. After the smoke cleared, Texans got back to work. The old capitol might have been burned to the ground, but new financial capital would build a better one in its place. An alliance of businessmen from Illinois called the Capital Syndicate took on the building project. In exchange, the state government would pay them in land. This massive swath of territory lay in the largely unpopulated Dallam, Hartley, Oldham, Death Smith, Parmer, Castro, Bailey, Lamb, Cochran, and Hockley counties. It would become the XIT Ranch. Back in Austin, workers decided against using white hill country limestone quarried nearby like had been used in the old building. Instead, workers constructed a railroad to Marble Falls to haul in loads of Texas Sunset Pink granite. This durable rock would create the landmark that still stands today. A new building for a new age. Other ranchers came to Texas too. An American Army officer, James Sanks Brisbane, published a book, The Beef Bonanza, or How to Get Rich on the Plains, that outlined what he saw as the future of the West. Financiers in Europe, especially in England and Scotland, read the work and looked for their next great investment opportunity. They had capital. Texas had land. As a result, the massive XIT joined a growing list of large-scale cattle operations. With railroads rapidly connecting the state to the rest of the nation and open-range ranching no longer viable in this new industrial age, investors began developing ranching enterprises to feed a massive appetite for beef and leather. The Illinois businessmen who paid for the capital developed their XIT ranch by attracting financing from the London-based Capital Freehold Land and Investment Company. Other businessmen took note. Barbed wire had ended the era of the open range, and cattlemen who had made money driving longhorns to market in Kansas and beyond had used their new wealth to acquire grazing lands. Investors in Great Britain swept in to buy many of these more modest holdings and consolidated them into new cattle businesses spread across great stretches of Texas. New cattle breeds came with them, and the old longhorns faded into obscurity. Investors who had never even been to Texas now owned large portions of the state. The homegrown King Ranch in South Texas and Swenson Ranch in West Texas were now joined by foreign-owned spreads, including the Matador Land and Cattle Company, the Rocking Chair Ranch Company, and the Espuela Land and Cattle Company. Stock raisers who still relied on the old-fashioned open range system found themselves fenced out of the best grasslands and water. So, they cut the fences. Texas Rangers helped hunt down these troublemakers, and lawmakers made fence cutting illegal in 1881. Texans now had to share their wide open spaces with wealthy foreign investors.